Cons plays a very important role in the manager's life. With this word, I, CA Jyoti Sapna Madan, will help you in getting more details about the quantitative techniques for manager. In today's content, we will study more about the transportation. The content of the transportation are the initial feasible solutions with the help of different methods. The first one is northwest corner. Second is the least cost method. Third is the column minimum method. Next is the row minimum method, and the very important method is the VAM, that is Vogels approximation method. With this method, we will able to find out the initial feasible solution. But if we want to get the optimum solution, with the optimum solution, we use the optimality test with the help of Modi method, and then we have the different contents like unbalanced problem and degeneracy in the transportation scenario, and the solution of the problems with the maximization objective. These are the table of contents which we have to study in the transportation. But in today's content, in the today's scenario, we will more study about the northwest corner. What the student learn about this table of content, we are able to find out the problem formulation. That means after studying the transportation problem, we will able to formulate the cases. We will able to formulate what is given in the scenario, and then we can use the help of quantitative techniques and transportation method and find out the best solutions for our problem. Right? The second, you will able to understand the solution techniques. What are the multiple solutions we can use in the transportation, and we can get the best results from them. Third, we will learn about the optimization skills. Yes, after studying the transportation, you will able to find out the optimum skills level from using the different techniques. The next point is decision making and analysis. Yes, with the help of transportation, you are able to make the best decision, and then you analyze the decision in the best possible manner. The next word is the real world application. Yes, in the transportation problem, we have the different scenarios related to cases, like where we have to transfer the goods from where we have to send the goods. So that we can find out the real world application. Hope you're getting this, what we have to study and what we able to learn from this chapter. Coming up with the next, the start one. What is exactly the transportation problem is? The transportation, what does this transportation problem indicates? The transportation problem is a special type of, it's a special category of the quantitative techniques. Basically, transportation problem is one of the topic related to LLP, that is linear programming, right? It helps in the type of a linear programming, where the objective is to minimize the cost. What is this transportation exactly indicates? When we have to transfer the goods from one source to another sources and to the destination, what is the main objective of the manager in this? The main objective of the manager is to minimize. What they actually want to? They want to minimize the cost of their distributing a product from the several source to the several destination. As we have different sources, and from the different sources we have to transfer the goods. The main aim of the manager is to make the transportation cost to the minimum level as much as they can take it. Hope you're getting this point. What is the basic idea of getting the transportation problem, right? Coming up to the next point, what exactly the next situation scenario says comparative. That means components of a transportation problem. What are the different components which we have to study in the transportation problem? The first most important thing in the transportation problem, we will study about the sources. That means the supplies. The goods are transferring from where? The sources. That means you have to study about the different sources the goods are coming from. Different sources, supplies. That means there can be a places where the product originates from different sources, and it can be donated with the word S1, S2, S3. There is no hard for rule that you have to use the word S1, S2, S3. But the most important thing, you have to learn about the sources, different sources where the goods are coming from, right? Coming up to the next point, what is the next point? What is the next component? The first one is your sources. The second component is your destination. Definitely goods are coming from different sources, then we have to transfer from their sources to the destination. The second component of the transportation is the destination. These are the places where the products are to be delivered, and the destination we indicated in the word D1, D2 until the number of terms D3. Okay, the first component is sources, originate. The second is your destination, that is the area where we have to transfer the goods, right? Now coming up to the third one, what is the third point is the supply. The originate has to supply the goods, right? How much quantity actually they can supply it. The third constraint is the supply, and the destination, they require the goods. That means their demand level. So then the next point is supply and the demand. What we have to learn in this supply and demand is each source has a supply capacity. The someone is supplying the goods, they have the capacity of the supply, how much actually they can goods produced up, right? And that is we indicate with the word SI. What we will indicate for the supply? SI, right? And the each destination has the demand requirement. The where you are sending the goods, definitely they have their demand requirement. For example, the supply is in one production area is 100 units. But the requirement was there is only 90 units. So can we transfer it the 100 units? No, we can, but they actually required is 90 units. So we have to consider both the things, that is the supply, how much actually we can supply it, and the second one is their demand, actually the requirement they needed, right? Needed, what the demand they actually needed. The first one is, the first component which we have just added is, the first one what we have done is the sources. What we have to do it? The sources. The second what we have done is the destination, where the goods are transferring, destination area of yours, right? The third one is basic is your supply, where you have to supply the goods, how much quantity we have to supply, and with that we have to use the word demand also, right? Now the fourth component we have to consider, the very important thing, that is the actually calculation of the transportation problem is your cost per unit. Cost per unit, that is the main key areas of the transportation. As a quantitative manager, what they actually need is, they want that the goods can be transferred from one area to another at the minimum cost. The one who is very well versed about the calculation of the quantitative techniques and the transportation problem, they can easily manage where the goods can be transferred easily, right? These are the four components. Hope it has been cleared, everyone. Coming up to the next point, the most important, ma'am, how actually we formulate this and what are the procedure we can formulate the situation. Formulation of transportation problem, that's a very important. Once you are not able to formulate the situation properly, definitely your end result will be not in a good scenario. The transportation problem can be a mathematically, again very important word is mathematically. Don't worry, you don't need to be an expert in maths, but at least the basic calculation you should know it, and the way how to conceptually follow that basic rules. Mathematically represented as a minimization. See, there is a word minimization. Why we use the word minimization? Why we haven't used the word maximization? Why? Because in the transportation cost, the manager want to, what they want to? Minimize their cost as much as they can. The best one is why? Because the minimum cost will give you the maximum profit, right? Minimizing the linear programming problem. Yes, it is a part of a linear programming problem. You have to make an equations and then formulate then equations in a proper way so that your cost will be in the minimum way, right? Coming up to the next point, if we're coming up to the next point, what is the main criteria for formulating the transportation problem is the first point is, this is your first point, that is an objective function. What is the basic objective of doing the transportation problem? So my basic objective is to minimize the cost. We just have discussed up. Yes, we just want to find out the minimum cost. If you are not able to understand these equations, don't worry, I will explain you with the mathematical ways. What the main important thing is minimizing the cost. You have to remember this. The one is the first important point, objective formation is minimizing the cost, right? The cost should be minimum. The quantity should be transferred from the source to the destination in such a way that the cost should be minimum. Right? Coming up to the next point, what we have in the next point, that's a second. Yes, constraint, rukavate, constraints. Yes, there is some constraint when we transfer the goods from A to B. There is some restrictions. And what are the constraints? Two constraints are basically there. The supply constraint, the one who is sending the goods, and the second one is your demand constraint. Demand constraint is also there. Why? Because the person who is required is also in the constraint level. I required this much of quantity only, right? We have to study about the both, the supply constraint also, and we have to study about the demand constraint. The first constraint is your objective. Yes, you have to a mindset that my objective is to minimize the cost, right? The second constraint we have just discussed is, this is your second constraint in the part of supply. And the one who is supplying the goods, they will ensure that, what they ensure? That the supply from each source is not exceeded. See, I have produces only 100 units. How much goods we can transfer it? You tell me up. Only 100 units you were able to transfer. Na? That means your supply should not exceed with that quantity level, right? This is my constraint. We have to clear it that my production cannot be more than that. Right. The second, what the next constraint you have to consider is your demand. How much requirement is required by the destination person. See, ensure that the demand of each destination is met. The destination 1 D1 say required 100 units. Its requirement should be fulfilled. Destination 2 requires 100 units. Destination should be, their requirement should be achieved. You have to consider both the things. Supply requirement, capacity should be met. Destination should be met. Right? Next constraint, what is the next constraint we have to take care? That's a non-negative constraint. This is the most important thing in the mathematical also we used to study, that the quantity transported cannot be negative. Do you say, I transferred minus 20 units? No, no. So there should be no negative constraint, no negative quantity should be there. These are the basic constraints which you have to follow when you formulate the transportation problem. Hope you are able to study all the things. First recapping once again, because you have to formulate now practically. You should be very clear in this. What is the main point? That the first constraint is your objective. Your cost should be minimum. Second constraint is your supply. Your capacity should be made up. Your third one is your demand. The requirement by the destination should be met up. And the fourth one is non-negative. Non-negative. Any quantity cannot be in the negative. These are the four most important things you have to consider when you are formulating the transportation problem, and that is a part of a linear programming. Hope it is fine. As we are coming to the practical, you have to take the pen and paper with you and a calculator with you so that you can do the practical questions with me. Right? Coming up to the next point, what we have to study is in this. Very important, ma'am. Now you have told me of that we have to formulate, and these are the four constraints we have to consider. What are the different methods for using the transportation problem? The first most important method is NCM, that is a northwest corner method. This is the most important method. Again, the basic method you can also say it. The second one is the least cost method. Next one is your optimity test, that is modified MODI method. We used to call it as a MODI method also. And the next one is your VAM, that is a Vogel's approximation method. That's a VAM method. These all are the very important method. Normally, with the help of this method, northwest corner method, with the help of this method, with the help of this, and with the help of this, we used to find out the initial feasible solutions. But if I want to get it in a more optimum level, we use the MODI method for getting the optimum method. Right? The name itself indicates optimity test. That means the optimum. Is this the test who can find out you the minimum cost categories? The answer is right. Thus, they are try to their best one to get the result in the most optimum manner. Right? We will study all the problems in a practical approach and with the help of a case studies. Don't worry with that. Coming up to the next point. First one is your not cost manner. First of all, we will have a look on the summary of all these methods, and then one by one we will go to the practical approach, right? starts from the word itself indicate northwest. You have to start with the north side at the top left corner and fills the cell by moving to the right or the down. You have to start with the north side. Word itself indicate north. You have to start with the north and then going towards the west side. North side and then going to the west. Then again north, then west. That will be a northwest. That is a top left corner. Start with the top left corner and fill the cell as much as you can and then go to the downward. That's the right side. Okay. Coming up to the next. What is the next one for that? Second is your least cost method. What this indicate? The name itself indicate least cost. Find out the one who is having the least cost in your cell. That is, select the cell within the lowest cost and allocate as much as possible. You have to find out the cost which is having the least cost, and then from that least cost, give them whatever they require. That means compare their supply and the demand, compare the capacity and the requirement, and give that quantity to that cell, right? This is your second one. Now coming up to the third one, that is a VAM method, Vogel's approximation method. In this, we consider the penalties for each row and column and allocates based on the highest difference. What we have to do, we have to calculate the penalties. What will the penalty? That means the difference between the cost, and then we find out the highest one and then allocate it. We will do the practical, then it will be more clear for you. Okay. Coming up to the next point, that's after VAM, what we do, I just discussed you up, that we use the, when we are using these three methods, like northwest method, least cost method and the VAM method, we find out the initial feasible solution. But after initial feasible solution, the quantitative managers want to get that this is the basic and the final solution. If you want to find out, no, I just want to find out it can be more modified, it can be more reach to the optimum level, then we use the next test, that's a Modifier-Millard method, that to find out the optimality and literally and improves the solution. If sometimes the solutions gets improved and sometimes it becomes the initial solution is your basically optimum solution, but at least we have to find it, right? Now coming to the next point, what is the main points are included in this? There are different special cases also there in the transportation problem. What are the different cases which are there in the transportation problem? First one is your unbalanced transportation problem. What is this unbalanced transportation problem? Unbalanced transportation arises when your capacity and the requirements are not same. That means your supply and the demands are not same. When both are same, that means there is a balanced transportation problem. But in every scenario, in every situation, might it not exist. It can be a situation when the supply does not equals to total demand. That means we have the two situation in this. The demand can be greater than supply, the one situation, and demand should be less than supply. That can also be a situation. What we have to do in both the situation, we will study in the next scenario. The second special problem we will discuss in the transportation problem is degeneracy. Very important. That is degeneracy. What does this degeneracy indicate? Degeneracy indicate that in the basic feasible solution, what we have to find out, we have to find out whether the allocations are equal to m plus n minus 1. The m indicates what this m indicates. M is the number of rows and n indicates the number of columns in the transportation problem. That means you have to find the number of allocations, and the number of allocation m plus n minus 1 is your number of allocations. If your number of allocations is equal to this m plus n minus 1, then there will be no degeneracy. But once there is a degeneracy, you have to follow some loops areas. You have to find out the more adjustments are required to be calculated in that scenario. The third special case we have to consider in the transportation problem is the multiple optimum solution. Sometimes we have the multiple solutions, then how to find out that optimum solution from that multiple scenarios. The solutions where more than one solution provides the same optimum cost. The optimum cost is given by the different methods, different optimum solutions. Then how we find out the best one from all these three solutions. That is also one special case in the transportation problem which you need to be studied in a detail. Right? Hope it is fine. Now coming up to the next point, these are the special cases, right? Coming up to the next point, the structure. Basically, how does this transportation structure indicates to us, how it shows and how we have to make this case studies. Please look at very properly because you have to prepare this transportation problem in your practical scenario also. See, what we have to use in this, first we have to use the origin. This is my origin, that is the starting, where the supply is being done up. We have the different origins, like we have taken in this example 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on till M, right? We supplying these areas, we supply the quantity of goods from this origin to the different destinations. One is your origin, the second one is your destination, right? And there we have to supply your goods. See, in the first origin, the maximum supply, here it is written as a supply and here we have written as a demand. Getting it? This is a matrix form of a question. See, from first origin, we have to transfer the goods. That means how much supply we can do up? A1. It is a just an indication we have taken up. From second origin, we can use it as A2, 3, 4, till M, what we have used it? AM. Same with the requirement to the destination. The one destination requires the goods. Definitely they required, they demand it. How much quantity one warehouse required is? B1. Second one is B2, B3 and so on till Bn. Right? What we concluded from this is, like what is this? It is written over here is X11. Same in the Excel we used to do a 1, 1, 1, 2. What this 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3 indicates? The quantity. From one origin till one destination, how much quantity is being transferred, that is X11. What does this X12 indicate? One origin and the second destination. 1, 3, one origin and the third destination, and this continue till 1n. 1n means one origin and the destination, number of destination, that is 1n. Same with the row second, third until M. The last one will be your CMN. CMM, that means XMN. I want to say it in the form of XMM. I want to use this word properly. This is XMM, right? Use it properly, then you can able to understand is XMN. That means from the M origin till the end destination, we are quantity transfer is this much. Now the second thing you have to clear from this, it is written C11, C12. What this C11 and C12 indicate? The cost per unit. From one origin till the one destination, that is C11. C12 is the cost of transferring the goods per unit from one origin till the second destination, that it will be C12. Same with the C13, one origin and third destination, and continue goes on, and we are using it, the word last one is C1n. Right? Same with the continue with the M quantity, like we have the different origins, different sources where we are transferring the goods. CM, CM1, last source till one destination, last source with the second destination, so on, and the last word is CMN, that is a cost per unit from the M origin till the N destination. This is the total matrix. You have to make it very proper. This is your demand. That means the destination one is how much demand they are required. This is the supply. The origin one, where the goods are supplying, they can reach to which area, that is which quantity, A1. We can use the word origin as well as the source. We can use also word as a source. This is a destination where we have to transfer it. Right? Now the point we have just discussed of the first point, the special cases is balanced and unbalanced. I can help you in finding out over here also. Like in the demand, we have to check and add all these values, and this value is Bn. Right? This is your demand. This is your demand. Now what I have to check it is this is equal to this one. AM is your supply. AM is equals to supply. What we have to find in this scenario? We have to check it whether the situation is the balanced one and unbalanced one. How we can find the balanced one? If my demand is equals to my supply, then this matrix will be of matrix of balanced one. But once it is not equal, then it will be an unbalanced one. And in the unbalanced one, we have to find out whether the demand is greater than supply or whether the supply is greater than demand. And approximately, we have to adjust the rows and the columns with the case of an unbalanced scenario. Fine. The transportation problem can be written in the following table. This is the table and the matrix which I have shown you. Hope it is fine, clear. Now coming up to the next point, this is the most important thing because this is a structure you have to prepare in your real life. This will not be provided by the organization. The organization will provide you a case study, which I will also explain you in the scenario. Okay. Coming up to the next point, the cases which we have just discussed. What are the different cases? Just a summary of that. That's a balance problem, you can have it. You have an unbalanced problem, and the balance problem will be when the demand will be equals to supply, unbalanced when the demand is greater than supply or demand is less than supply. Hope it is fine. It's just a summary of what we have done, right? Thank you so much for today's session, and after that we will study more about the Vogel's method and the least cost method and the different optimum solutions method. Thank you. Transportation problem, one of the important topic in the quantitative techniques for managers. With this word, I, CA Jyoti Sapra Madan, will help you in getting in more details about the transportation problem. In the previous scenario, in the previous content, what we have studied, we have discussed about the different constraints, which is the most important constraints in the transportation problem. After that, we studied about what are the methods which we have used in the transportation problem. In that, we have discussed the first method is the northwest corner method. The second is your least cost method. Third one is your VAM method. And with this method, we find out the initial feasible solution, right? But if we want to get it the more feasible, more optimum answer, then we use the Modi method. And with the help of Modi method, we are able to find out the optimum solution. In today's content, we will study more about the practical approach related to the northwest corner method, right? Starting with the northwest corner method, what is basically northwest corner method indicate? The northwest corner method is a simple, it's a very simple method. It's a simple method. It's a simple method and intuitive way to find out the initial feasible solution for the transportation method. Yes, I have already discussed up when we have to find out the initial feasible solution, the one method that is the most important method is the northwest corner method. The word itself indicates northwest. That means you have to start with the north side and then going to the west side, keeping the source and destination with you, and then allocate that much goods to that Excel or to that cell, right? Coming up to the next point, which is included in this slide, is the steps of calculating or the ways how we calculate the initial feasible solution of the transportation with the help of northwest corner. The first step for calculating the northwest corner method and the initial solution is set up the problem. Yes, first you have to make the matrix. You have to find the problems, put the solution in the matrix, and then use the concepts with that which are given over here. The first step is to identify the sources where the goods are actually transferred and the destination where we have to find it. The first step is, that means you have to find out the different sources where the goods are ready. The second point is the demand level, that is the destination where you have to send the goods, right? Know where the products are coming from, that's a source, and where they need to go, where it is coming from and where you have to send it, the destination point. List the suppliers, write down all the suppliers that you are transferring that may transfer the goods, right? And the demand, write down how much each source can supply, how much quantity the producer of X and Y and Z unit can transfer you, and how much each destination needed. They can supply many things, but is we required it? You have to find both the things, the supply and the demand, the source and the destination. That is your first step. Write down all the things and set up your problem with this information. What the second information you required, the second step you required is set up the initial solution table. This is a basic solution table you have to formulate. First you have to set out. The second is to find out the initial solution. That means create a table. Here table, what does it indicate? Matrix. The table indicates over here is a matrix. Within the rows for the sources. For the sources we are using it rows. For sources we are using the word as row. And the columns for the destination. Destination where the goods are transferring, we using it as a column. Right? The sources, that's your row, and the column, that's your destination. In the previous session which we have discussed, like origin 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, your destination, that's a column. This table helps us to keep the track on how much where we are sending from each sources and where we have to send it to the destination level. This is the way we find out the different forms, that's the sources and the destination. Right? This is the second step. Keep all the steps in your mind, then only you can able to formulate it. Now coming up to the third step. The third step is start. Start the northwest corner concept. Now you have to start. Start with the top left corner. Your top left corner you have to start up. End of your table, that is northwest corner. And this is where we will begin our allocation. You have to start your allocation from the north side. And from the north side, allocate the quantity as much between the demand and supply. Right? Now you are coming to the third step. Hope you are recalling all the steps properly. This is the most important things. I am repeating once again. The first step is set up the problem. You have to set your problem. Identify the list of the suppliers and the destination. Second point is to set up the initial table. You have to formulate the table. That start with the northwest corner. That is your step number 3. Now coming up to the next point, that is a step number 4. That is allocate. You have identified how much goods are there, how much they can supply it, and how much they require it. Then what you have to do it? Allocate them. You have to allocate as much as possible. Look at the supply for the source, which we have discussed up. Your supply will be your source point, and in the northwest corner, and the demand for your destination, source and demand. And then allocate as much as you can, which is the smaller of between the demand and supply. But obvious, since the Mr. X, right, who is supplying the goods, they can supply it 100 quantities. Say example, the source 1, they can supply 100 units. Right, 100 units. But the destination 1, where you have to send these goods, they require only 50 units. How much you would allocate from the, how much you can allocate it from one source to the one destination? Maximum 50 units will be allocated. That means the smaller of these two. Smaller of demand and supply. Right? Subtract the allocated amount from the supply and destination, that is a demand, because you have to find out the balance one, how much balance is remaining after the demand and supply allocations point. Hope you're getting the step number 4. You have to follow all these steps in order. Not can be possible that you can apply the step number 4 one before using the step number 1, 2 and 3. Right. Coming up to the next step. What you have to do in the step number 5, that is move to the right or down. Move to the right. First you have to allocate from the north and then move to, either you have to move to the right or either you have to come to the downside. Right. After allocating, move either to the right, that is still supply left in the source, or what obviously if there is a like quantity remaining pending, then you can move to the right side. Otherwise you have come to the next point, that's a next source. Or down if there's still demand in the destination area, right? Repeat the step number 4 from the new cells you will band up. Again, you have to follow the same step and you have to do till all your supply and destination will be wind up. That will be your initial solution, right? Proper allocation has been done up after repeating all these steps and completing all the allocations. Step number 6, that means continue the allocation, moving the step again and again, follow the same step from 1 to 4. Keep moving from the right to down. Remember this word is right or down. Don't use the left corners, right? This is the left word, but you have to move, start with the left and then going to the right side or to the down. But once you have to start with the left side, okay? That is a north side. Allocating as much as possible until you reach the last cell in your table, that is bottom right corner. You have to start from this side and with this side. Start with the north side and end up with the, and one point should be your in the table of the content, and your all allocation should be 0, right? This is your step number 6. Coming up to the next point, that is step number 7. Check for the completion, that all the demand and supply being completed or not. If it is not completed, definitely it will show some error. If it is completed, proper allocation has been done up, that means you've done all the allocations properly and your initial feasible solution is right there. Once you have allocated as much as you can, check if all the supplies and the demands are fulfilled. If they are fulfilled, you have at the initial feasible solution. If you have fulfilled all the things, that means you are able to find out the initial feasible solutions with the help of the first method, that is the north cost method. This is what step is, that's step number 7. Now coming up to the step number 8, that will indicate interpret the solution. Yes, you are able to find out the proper allocation, but you are not able to interpret the answer. That will not make any sense. You have to make the data in a proper interpretation way. The numbers in the cells of your table represent how much quantity is being transported from one source to the destination for each destination, and this solution minimize the total transportation cost. The main purpose of the QT, the main purpose of the transportation problem dealing in the quantitative techniques for managers is to minimize their transportation cost. If one is able to minimize this transportation cost, they will able to find out the best result. And if you are not able to find out this minimum transportation cost, that means you have to follow the next step again and again. Right, this is your step number 8. Coming up with the next step number, that's is all wind up with the northwest corner with all the steps. Hope you are ready with this, all these steps. Just having a one recap, then we will starting with the case study, right? Recap all the steps properly. First step is you have to set up your problems properly, list down all the suppliers and the sources and the destination. Your second step is set up the initial table, make a matrix, put the data proper there, from which sources, your destination, your per unit cost, and your demand and the supply point, right? Your next step, step number 3, start allocating as much as you can, that is a balance or the smaller part between the demand and supply, and start allocating, getting towards the top left corner and then moving towards the right and or to the down part. Step number 4, allocate as much as possible. Now the step number 5, repeat the process same ways again till all the allocations and all the cells are being completed. Step number 6, continue allocation as much as the possible until all the steps being wind up and all the demand and supplies get allocated. And the 7th point, check your completion, that is all done. And last, the step number 8 is interpret your result. That means multiply your quantity with the cost per unit and find out the total transportation cost. All clear with the northwest corner? Now you have to apply all these steps in a practical point. This is the one case study we are dealing today is this. Please have a look on this case study. Read it properly, analyze it and start doing. Take out your pen and paper and start working with me only. A case study, I've taken a very simple case study. You have to formulate. I'm starting with the initial stage, right? A company has 3 factories. The one factory is located in your New York, the first factory, the second in Chicago, and the next one is a Los Angeles. And the 3 distribution center, the factories is there, and then you have to transfer that goods to the 3 different destination areas is Houston, Miami, and Atlanta. Okay, these are the 3 destination areas. The supply capacity of the factories and the demand requirement of the destination centers are given to you in the under table. The second is this, your table is given in this way. Factories from New York, 100 units we can transfer. Then Chicago, 150 units. You have to note down all these points. Los Angeles, that is 200 units. These are the supply quantity by the factories of the 3 areas. Distribution center, where we have to transfer, 3 centers are there. One, Houston, we can transfer 120 units. Second is Miami, and the third one is Atlanta, that is 150 units. These are the sources, factories, that means sources, and these are the distribution center, means destination. Right? Sources, that means we can also use the word origin. Don't worry, we can use a different word also. You have to make it properly. Origin, where the goods are coming. Destination, where it is going out. Right? Done? Note down all these units. Now use all the concepts which we have just added up. What we have to know, one more important thing is the cost. Transferring from New York to the Houston, or transferring from New York to the Miami, or transferring from New York to the Atlanta, what will be the cost per unit? That will be provided by the organization to you, or you take the data from the logistic department. And the data are like this. Having a look on this data. From New York to Houston, that is 8 per unit, 8 rupees per unit. New York to Miami, that is 6. New York to Atlanta, that is 10. Chicago to Houston, that is 4. Miami, Atlanta, this is all given to you. That is a cost per unit is given to you from different sources. This is your sources where the goods are transferred from, and this is your destination where you have to send it. Right? The first step. What is the first step? Prepare all the data, collect all the data, find out the data. Done? Hope you are doing this with your pen and paper and using all this. This is all about given in the transportation problem. Now apply this case study. Apply all the theoretical concept which we have studied and apply this in your real world. This happens in the real. We have all the things. We have given the factories. Right? These are the factories where the goods are produced. These are the areas where the goods are required to be transferred, destinations. The 3 factories are there, 3 distribution centers are there. Don't worry, it can be possible. They can be more than 3 or they can be less than 3. We are not focusing on 3 and 3. It can be in any form, right? Now, what we have given, cost per unit we have given. Now, what is the main objective of a transportation manager as a part of a QT? Minimize the transport cost with meeting the demand and supply constraints, rukawate. We have to consider all the constraints properly. That constraints are what we have constraints. The first one is the objective, minimum the cost. Second is the demand, and third is your supply constraint. And the most important is per unit cost should be minimum as much as possible, right? Coming up to the next point, hope you are able to translate this question. For how we can translate, please have a look on the solution. Though this solution has to be done by you only, still you can check it. Are you able to do the solution in this way only? Find out what we have done. New York, 8, but what we have added, this is given to you cost, right? Origin, this is given destination. This is my destination. This is my origin, sources. But we have to write it demand. As we have given, Houston is required 120 unit. How it is given? See, it is given. Houston is required 120 unit, 180 unit and 150 unit. 120, 180, 150, right? From there only, I use these words 120, 180, 150. This is the requirement which is required by the Houston, Miami and Atlanta. Right? How much goods can be transferred by the New York? It is given to us again 100, 150 and 200. Right? Use this data and put it over here, 100, 150 and 200. So that means with the help of the information, we have made one matrix that is over here. You have to make the matrix by your own. Might be the matrix will not be provided by the organization as we are doing from the scratch part. This is a matrix, the first step. Prepare the matrix from the scratch, that is this one. Fine, it's clear, done. Shall we proceed further? This is simple. It is written over here, transportation paper. Here the initial transportation table for the given problem. The table will be used to determine the optimum transportation plan, minimize the TC and satisfy the demand and supply constraint. That's demand and that's your supply. You have to consider the most important thing, consider the demand and supply in a proper manner. If you are not able to find out this, then again the problem arises. Getting it? Shall we proceed further with this case study, initial problem? Okay. Coming up to the next point. Now we are coming to the practical problem. Take your pen and paper with you, calculator with you. If you are expert in your Excel, you can do in the Excel also. We'll try to make you help in doing all these questions in Excel, but once try to make it the question in the pen and paper and use your calculator and use your memory also. How we do up. Please have a look on this question properly. The sources is given. We have three sources: Jaipur, Udaipur, Mumbai, where the goods are transferred. And we have the three destinations: Kanpur, Pune and Delhi. And from Jaipur to Kanpur, when the goods are traveling, the per unit cost is 4 rupees. When the goods are transferring from Jaipur to Pune, the cost is 5 per unit. When the goods are transferred from Jaipur till Delhi, the cost is 1 per unit. Hope you getting this destination. See, it is given, but at least you should know. Someone asks you, ma'am, what is this 4 rupees? So you should answer it, ma'am, when the goods are transferred from Udaipur till Pune, then the cost per unit is 4 per unit. Right? This is your answer. Okay. Coming up to the next, what is given in this question is demand. Here it is again the same point, and the supply. The Kanpur destination area, or the person who is there in the Kanpur, he actually required 70 units only. Kanpur required how much units? 70. Pune required 40 units. Delhi required 60 units. Right? But the goods being produced by the Jaipur, they can transfer. How much goods they can produce, supply. They can supply the units. How much they can supply? 40 units can be supplied by the Jaipur. The second one is your Udaipur. How much Udaipur can transfer? That's 60. Udaipur has the capacity of supplying how much units? That's a 60. Third one is your Mumbai. How much Mumbai can transfer the goods? That is 70. You have to make it clear how much is required and how much you can transfer it. Right? Now the point is total down all the demand side. Total all the demand. Take your calculator. 70 plus 40 plus 60. That will be equals to 170. Right? Supply. Total all the supply. This is 40. Take your calculator. 60. And then 70. That is again 170. That means this is a balanced question where the demand is equals to supply. The first question arises that the demand and supply are equal. That means you don't have to go for the adjustment. Fine. Clear with this question? What is given in the question? How we have to start up? Shall we proceed further? Okay. Coming up to the next point. This is your question. Now start solution. Start making the allocation. What we have to do the allocation? Shall I show you the solution or you start doing by your own? Yes, very good. Somehow started, someone also started up. But we have to start with the left, north side. The first one is Jaipur. Jaipur can transfer how much units? 40. Jaipur can transfer 40 units. But the Jaipur can transfer to Kanpur also, to Pune also, to Delhi also. But Kanpur required 70 units. So out of 70 and 40, which one is lower? 40 and 70, which one is lower? 40. That means in this allocation, I give how much units? 40 units. The smaller of 70 and 40, that is 40. That indicates from Jaipur to Kanpur, I can transfer 40 units, right? Now, the Jaipur is about fulfill their quantity. That means all the supply capacity of the Jaipur origin is 0. Make it as 0. Because we have given all the goods from Jaipur to Kanpur. And the Kanpur still required 70. Out of 70, 40 has been reached from Jaipur. But Kanpur required more goods, 70. Their demand is 70. 40 being done by the Jaipur. How much is pending? 70 minus 40. 70 minus 40. That is 30. Write down over here 30. Fine. This is a step 1. See, I am doing very slowly so that you can do it by, again the next question will be run up very fastly. Okay. Now repeat the process. Same. This is all done. Now coming up to the, not go to the this side. Now you coming to the downside. Kanpur required 30 more units, right? Udaipur, they can transfer 60. Now 60 and 30. Whichever is lower, 30. This is 30. The pending one is 0. This one remaining is 60 minus 30. That is 30. Fine. Okay. Now this is 0. This is also 0. This is remaining 30. What we have to do in this way? Kanpur required 70. Yes, it's done. Jaipur 40 units and from Udaipur 30 units. Kanpur is capacity full. Coming up to the Pune, Jaipur can't send it because their capacity is 0. Udaipur can send it because it has 30 units and 40. 30 and 40, whichever is lower, 30. Put it over here, 30. From Udaipur to Pune. From Udaipur to Pune, we can transfer 30 units, right? Now the balance over here will be again 0. Hope you're getting it. And here it is 10. How it is 10? From 40 we have given 30. Remaining is 10. Done. Now coming up to the next point from Mumbai. This cannot be possible because it is also 0. Mumbai to Pune can be possible. Yes, Pune required 40 units and 30 is done. Then you have to give 10 more units over here from Mumbai to Pune. From Mumbai to Pune, 10 more units is there, then it will be 0. Right. Now coming to this side, 70 out of 70, 10 we have given. This is 60. 70 minus 10, that is 60. Right. Now from Mumbai, this is all done 0. This is all done 0. 60 pending. Delhi requires how much units? Their demand is 60 and Mumbai can transfer also 60. The balance is there, 60 here, 60 here. That means we can transfer 60 units more from Mumbai till Delhi. This is a 60 unit. Now this is 0. This is 0. We have allowed all the steps which we have studied and apply all that steps in this question. Hope you are done with all these steps. Now what we have to do after calculating this is not the feasible solution. You have to find out the transportation cost, multiply by the quantity with their units. Right? This is 40 quantity. You have to calculate the total cost. How we calculate the total cost? Again, you have to solve it properly. 4 units. What you have to use it? I just make it in a proper way. It can be help you out. You have to use in a proper way, like how much we have to use it. I just help you out using over here what we have to use, like this, in this way. See, what we have to use it like this way. From Jaipur till Kanpur, from Jaipur to Kanpur, 40 units being transferred at a rate of 4. 40 units transferred at a rate of rupees 4. 40 units being transferred at a rate of rupees 4. Right? The second step is, from Jaipur, all done. From Udaipur to Kanpur. Udaipur to Kanpur. How much units being transferred? 30 units at a rate of rupees 3. 30 units at a rate of rupees 3. Right? Udaipur to Pune. Udaipur to Pune. How much units being transferred? 30 units at a rate of rupees 4. 30 units at a rate of rupees 4. Right? Then Mumbai, last is your Mumbai to Pune. Mumbai to Pune, how many units are there? 10 units at a rate of rupees 2. That means 10 multiplied by 2. Right? And then Mumbai to Delhi. You have to write it, Mumbai to Delhi. How much units are there? 60 units at a rate of rupees 8. 60 into 8. Multiply all the units, sum up, and your answer is there. Multiply all these units. 40 into 4, 160. 30 into 3, 90. 30 into 4, 120. 10 into 2, 20, and 60 into 8, 480. Right? Total all this value and then you get it, the sum. This is the one way to do it, but we can do in a multiple way, like this step by step. Now I'm showing you the step by step process for this question. Look on this, write down on your table what you have done up. Now I'm using in a step by step process. First step is balance the problem. That means you have to balance the problem, meaning to check it that the supply and demand are same or not. In the first question, like what we have done, 70 plus 40 plus 60, that is total is 170. Same with 40, 60, 70, again the total is 170. That means your first step is to check out the balance, whether the demand and supply are the same or not. Right? We have checked it. Yes, it is a balance problem. 170 is equals to 170. Now coming up to the second step, what we have to find in the second step, start allocating from the northwest corner. That we start with the allocation from the left topmost corner, that is a northwest cell in the matrix, and make allocation best available to them. In the same way, I just showing with the help of a diagram, north side and the left hand topmost corner, left hand topmost corner. Hope all knows the north side, and that is your top left side corner, right? This with the help of an example, hope it might be clear. Like this is your matrix, start from here. This is the northwest corner. From this side you have to start up. Northwest corner, left hand topmost corner, left hand topmost corner. This will be your topmost corner. This is the question you are doing it, left corner, right? Top left corner. Now what we have to do, the step number 3, that means verify the smallest among the available supply and demand and the requirements corresponding to this cell, allocate. See, this we have done up in the question. The top left corner we start up, and the top left corner from 70 and 40, that is the lowest of 70 and 40 is 70 and 40, the lowest one is 40. We allocate this 40, right? Don't worry, ma'am, it is written in bracket and you have write down on the top point. PowerPoint doesn't indicate. This is a presentation. This 40 we have done. Somehow what we used to do, we make it 30. From 70 it is 40 gone, 30 balance, and this is 0. We cross this line. This indicates, that means the Jaipur supply capacity is finished. So Jaipur has produced how much units? 40 units, and they have given up. To whom they have given? Kanpur destination, right? Now we have coming to the next part, that is the Udaipur. We have to go for the Udaipur. We can do in a multiple way. Now we are making a next matrix. Okay, the next step what we are doing, we are making a next matrix like this way. Udaipur, Mumbai, the remaining one. Here we have Kanpur, Pune and Delhi, and the balance remaining with the Kanpur is only 30. Right? We're preparing a new matrix so that we are doing in a proper way, in like step by step doing it. We prepare new matrix, right? What we have to do, we have fulfilled the availability requirements of each rows and column and remove the rows and column and prepare a new matrix. Ma'am, it is compulsory to prepare a new matrix? Not at all. It's up to you to make it in a proper presentation. Then we use in a proper matrix. Otherwise, we can do in a one matrix also, right? What is pending now? 30. Again, repeat the same process. Top left corner from 3. That means 60 and 30. That again we allocate how much? 30. We can look on the next slide also what we have done in the next slide. See, it is we have given 30 units. Hope you comparing that question with this question. We are giving a 30 units. Now, we have removed this 30 units and the balance is 0. Now, the Kanpur demand will be fulfilled. Now, Kanpur will be deleted. Right? Because whatever the Kanpur is required is fulfilled by the Udaipur and the Jaipur branch. Right? Now again repeat the process, again repeat the same process for allocation and then check the balance and then again make a new allocation until all the allocations are over. That means again now we make a new matrix and that matrix consists of not Kanpur, only Pune, Delhi, Udaipur and Mumbai. Right? Have a look, see. Now it is Udaipur, Mumbai and Pune and Delhi and the balance quantity. Now the balance between the 40 and 30, that is again 30 which we allocate to this one and the balance over here will be 10 and here it is 0. right? Now 0 indicates that the Udaipur is also done up. We're coming up to the next with as the Udaipur also come up. Now we are coming up to the next point. That means, see, Mumbai is remaining and here it is Pune and Delhi. And the balance is over here is 10 and we are having 70. But we have to transfer only 10, right? And the balance remaining over 60, which is transfer from Mumbai to Delhi, that is 60. And then the capacity over here also 0. What does indicates? This indicates all the demand and supply will be fulfilled up and there will be no allocation left at the last, right? I want to look on this slide also, the last allocation. This is the summary which we have done up. Like in one matrix we are showing from Jaipur to Kanpur 4 into 40, that's a units. We calculate this. And from Udaipur, we have transferred to Kanpur 30 units at a rate of rupees 3. From Udaipur to Pune, we transfer 30 units at a rate of rupees 4. From Mumbai to Pune, we transfer 10 units at a rate of rupees 2 per unit. And from Mumbai till Delhi, we transfer 60 units at a rate of rupees 8 per unit. And the last step, what we have to do, we calculate the transportation cost, multiplying all these values in a proper way, like in this way, 40 into 40, that is a first step, 40 into 4. And then we have to calculate 3 into 30, 3 into 30, this is 4 into 40. 4 into 30, that's your 4 into 30. The next point is 2 into 10. Your next step is 2 into 10. Your next is 8 into 60 and it is 8 into 60. Sum up all this value. This is your initial feasible solution. This is your initial feasible solution with the help of northwest corner method. Hope you getting this solution in a proper way. What are the methods of calculating the northwest corner of this question which we have discussed in today's scenario case? That's the question number 1. This is a big question which we have done today with the easy method of northwest corner method. And with the help of northwest corner method, we are able to find out the basic initial feasible solution. Same with the different methods, like the second method which we will discuss by tomorrow, that is the least cost method. What we have to do in the least cost method, we have to find out the least cost value from all the cells and then start allocating it. But my question is with you students, why we are using these method? What is the main reason of using this method? And why we are using this transportation problems in the quantitative techniques for manager? Have you ever feel up? The main question arises in this way is, see, we have the different suppliers. The suppliers can transfer the goods to the different destination. Or you can think it in another way, like you have the many production areas, production houses. And from their production houses, you can transfer the goods to the different branches or areas. Now, as being a manager, what you have to plan up, you have to find out the proper area where the goods can be produced and they can be easily transferred to their destination area with a minimum cost. This is the problem which the quantitative techniques in the help of the transportation helps a manager to find out the best possible manner. Are you able to find out the northwest corner in a proper way? Hope you are able to analyze the transportation problem, that is a part of a linear programming problem, and we can really using these problems in the real world solution. Hope many of you who are listening this lecture, they may be able to reallocate with their problems. Like your father, your family business is having a production suppliers and you need to transfer from one supply to the different destination. Now this is the time you can use this method and find out when you are transferring from this to this area, which one is more suitable for you. You can use it in the different ways, like with the help of Excel. And nowadays, the different softwares are being developed where we can just have to put the values and we can find out the proper initial solutions. We try our best and explain you in a different manners. In the next scenario, in the next session, we'll definitely go through in a more practical way. Meanwhile, try to practice all the problem questions which is given in the back of the questions, back of the book. Try to solve the questions of least northwest corner with the practical approaches. Thank you so much for today's session. Bye bye. Take care. Coins, that is data. The data can be provided from the different sources. But being a quantitative manager, being a technical manager, you have to use your judgments for using these data in a proper and the effective manner. With this word, ICA Jyoti Sapra Madan will help you in getting in more details about the quantitative techniques for manager. In the previous session, we have just discussed about the transportation problem. That is the one part of the linear programming, and that consists of very important elements in the quantitative techniques for managers. In the transportation, what are the topics which we have discussed? As we all know, we have discussed about the basic initial feasible solutions in the different methods. Like the first method is your northwest corner method, which we have discussed in the previous session. And now in this session, we will study about the initial feasible solution, but with the second method, with the least cost method. In the northwest cost method, what we have learned of? We have learned of to calculate the northwest corner and calculate the transportation cost with the help of north. That means starting with the left side top corner, and then allocation should be done on the both sides, considering the supply and the demand, and allocate as much as you can, and keeping all the allocations once completed, then you are able to find out the best initial solution with the help of the northwest corner. But in today's scenario, in today's session, we will study about the second method, that is the least cost method. Okay, coming up to the next point, that is a least cost method for today's case. We have all done all these slides in the previous session, but in today's slide, we will discuss about the least cost method. That is the second method of our transportation problem, that is least cost method. Okay, coming up from this, the least cost method we will doing today. Remember, we have to do all these cases, that is northwest, the southwest. We have to done with the least cost column, row, everything. But the most important is the initial feasible solution we find out, and after getting the initial solution, we coming up to the most important point, that is a VAM method, right? Hope you are recalling all these constraints which we have done up. Remember, we have doing all these method, northwest corner method, the least cost method. That is again the very easy method for finding out the initial feasible solution, right? Then we go for the VAM method also. In the next session, we will go for the VAM method. This is the main structure which we have to make it clear that there are the origins which you have to remember. You have the different origins, right, and you have the different destination which you have to find the different ways, like the sources is there and the destinations is there, and you have to balance between the sources and the destinations, allocations, right? Coming up next, that we have to make a balance between the, we have to find out, yes, in all the three methods, you have to first, the foremost important thing, find out whether the matrix is balanced or not. If the matrix is not balanced, you have to find out the balance and the unbalanced problem. If it is not balanced, yes, you have to go for the adjustment, right? Coming up to the next, we have done the first step, that is a north cost manner, and in this we have the different steps which we have discussed. All the steps we have discussed. Then we have done this case study also in the next previous session, and with this case study we find out the solutions for solving the initial feasible solution with the help of northwest corner, right? Now coming up to this, we have done this question, hope you remember, and we find out the transportation cost. Now the second method, that is your least cost method. The word itself indicates the least. Least means minimum, the lesser value, where you have the least cost. You have to keeping the focus on the least cost, where the cost is minimum. For this, we have the different steps. The first step is set up the problem. That is a basic point. You have to set your matrix properly. Identify the sources and the destination, supply, demand, and the transportation cost. See, this is the basic things you have to make it clear. What are the basic things? Your sources, right? The second point is your destination, where the goods are coming, where it is going, right? Their destination area where you have to transfer your goods. Remember, the most important again, the supply. How much the goods can be supplied. The fourth point is their demand point. how much there is required. And above all these 4 points, the fifth point is the transportation cost, that is cost per unit. As we all know, the cost per unit, multiply that cost with the quantity, you will get the transportation cost. Okay, the first step is create a table, that is a matrix. Here table earlier we also discussed of, this table means the matrix of the linear programming, with rows for the source and the columns for the destination, right? The step number 2, that is identify the least cost from that matrix, from whole matrix, from the different sources and destination with different origins, and the destination with the different supplies and the demand. You have to find out the cells, the lowest transportation cost, and this is your starting point. Students, make it clear. When you are using the least cost method, you have to find out the lowest cost, and from that lowest cost, you have to start your allocations. But in the northwest corner, what we have done, we start with the left topmost corner, starting from there and coming to the right end, right? This is the basic difference between these two steps, two methods. Coming up, this is step number 3, allocate. Now you have to start allocating the product. Allocating as much as possible, yes, keeping the demand and supply and comparing the demand and supply, minimum of both, give the allocation to that least cost cell, right? Allocate as much as in the cell with the least cost, which is the smaller. Again, Bachaji, please make it clear, the smaller of the demand and supply. Update the demand and supply value, same in the previous question. Update the supply and demand, that is the balance remaining of the demand and supply. Now the step number 3, your next step is done up, and the step number 4, update the cost. Yes, you have to update the matrix. There is 2 criteria, like the simple presentation form, update the matrix what is remaining, and the one is to doing all the questions in the one matrix only, right? Adjust the cost in the remaining cells. If the cell is in the same row or the column as the allocated cell, subtract the quantity which you have allocated and the demand in that cell. Once it is balanced, then you again repeat that steps again and again. If the cell is not the same row or column, have the least cost as it is. The most important thing, please make it clear, because if you are not clear in this point, then you are again making a mistake. Adjust the cost, you have to make the adjustments, right? Adjustments in the cost value in the remaining cells, pending cells. If the cell is the same cell, same row, same column, or row or column, as the case may be, or as the allocated cell, subtract the quantity from the supply and demand in that cell only. Make it properly, use it in that cell, either in the form of a row or column, mind it, okay? If the cell is not the same cell is not there, same rows are not there, then rows or column, leave the cost as is. Leave that cost and coming up to the next point, right? This is your step number 4. Now coming up to the next point, step number 5, that's repeat the process. Still all the allocations are being over up. Continue finding the next least cost cell and allocate as much as possible until all the supplies and demands are met. This is the last step and is the most important. The most allocation is to be over up by the total demand and supply by the supplier and the destination part. Step number 6, check your completion, that all the allocations has been done up properly or not. Make a proper matrix at the final matrix like we have done in the northwest corner method. Verify all the supplies and the demands has been fulfilled, and they have to find out their initial feasible solutions. Right? Hope you're done with all these 6 steps. Then last, that means the interpretation, quantity multiplied by the unit, you get the transportation cost. Again, remember this point. With the help of this point, we are able to find out the initial feasible solution, right? Initial feasible solution. The numbers, that means the one you are finding the number, quantity. The numbers in the cells represent how much is being transported from each source to the destination, number which is given. And this solution minimizes the total per unit cost, that is the total transportation cost. Remember, the method provides an initial solution which we have discussed, provided it may not always be the optimum one. Remember, with the help of Northwest corner method with the help of this least cost method, column minimum, row minimize, these are the method in which we find out the initial feasible solution. And one more thing, this initial solution might not be, it can be a optimum answer. No, you have to find whether the initial solution is optimum not with the help of Modi method. Further refine can be done. See, it is written, further refine can be done, and it can be done with the help of Modi. The full form of Modi is modified distribution method if needed. That again we will discuss in the next session. Right? Shall we proceed with the questions? Hope you're getting with this basic terms. Or I show you the steps once again. See, having a look, I'm showing you again one step. Set up the problem, proper metrics you have to prepare, identify the source, destination, their demand, supply and the cost per unit for each source to the destination. Step 2, that is find the cells with the lowest cost. You have to find out the lowest cost one. This is your starting point. Step 3, allocate as much as you can and update the supply and the demand remaining after allocating to the one cell. Adjust in the cost in the remaining cells if the cell is in the same row or column. Like if a cell is in the same row or column as the allocated cell, subtract the allocated quantity from the supply or the demand, depends on the situation. If the cell is not in the same row or column, leave the cost as is. Right? Next point, repeat the step 2 to 4 once again and find out till all the allocations has been done up or not. Check your completions has done up, and last the interpretation, right? You have to interpret the result. Coming up with the practical question. Now start with the practical question. See, it is given with you. There are two suppliers, that is A and B, and two destination, that is X and Y. Two things is given to you. Supply and the quantities are follows. Supply from A is 30 units, supply from B is 50 units, and the demand required by X and Y is 40 units. The transportation cost per unit are given in the table below are, this is a per unit cost, their demand and supply is given to you. Now you have to find out the least cost initial feasible solution with the help of least cost method, as we have discussed up. Start doing the question by your own. You have to do by your own. Hurry up. Now this is your turn. You have to do up. Start doing it. What you have to do? See, we have given supply. If I make a matrix like in this form, A, B, and we have the two destination X and Y, right? We have this one is 6, this is 8 per unit, this is 3, this is 2. We have given the demand part, that is 40. This is 40, right? We have given the supply part, that is A required how much unit, or A will supply how much unit, that is 30. B can supply how much unit, that is 50. Start using the step number 1. And what is the step number 1? Step number 1. What we have to do? Find out whether the matrix is balanced or not. Remember, it will be in your mind to start the question while balancing the demand and supply. Total of all the demand, 40 plus 40, that will be equals to 80, right? Total of supply, this 30 and 50, 30 plus 50. Take out your calculator, start doing questions with yourself. Don't see it. Take the paper and start doing with me only. 50 plus 30 is 80. Again, the first point is over. Yes, the demand and supply are equal. That means it is a question of balanced. This question is of balanced. Right? But you don't have a look on this question. Start doing practically with you. It will make you more strong rather than just having a looking. Now what we have to do? We have to give the allocations. What we have to do? We have to give the allocation. In the northwest, we start with the left corner. But in this, we have to find out the least cost. Least cost. 6, 8, 3, 2. What is the least cost in this is 2. Right? The most least cost. Hope you are able to do it. Shall we proceed further? Okay. I have to make this matrix once again with you. Please try to make it by your own. I'm doing with you. 6, 8, 3, 2. Right? Doing it like this. 6, 8, 3, 2. This is your matrix which is given to you. That is 6, 8, 3, 2. 30 and 50, 40, 40. 30, 50, 40, 40. And it's given A, B, X and Y, right? A, B, X, Y. Now what we have to give the allocations? In the allocations, how we have to give the allocations? With taking the least cost. Which one is the least? This one is the least one. Make an allocation. How much allocation we can do in this case? We have discussed that we have to give the minimum. 40 and 50 minimum will be 40. Right? Then adjust the demand and supply. Now from 40, this is again the remaining is only 0. And from this 50, it is remaining 10 because 40 we have given to this person, right? Make a new matrix. Now the new matrix will be A, B, X, Y. This way. This will be 6, 8, 30. This will be 3. See, now we have given this matrix and this is all over. Basically, this is all over. We don't have to make this. We should not make this one. Then what we have to do? We should not make this. Oh, sorry, I've deleted all the things. 6, 8, 3, 2. Hurry up, jaldi se ek bari aur karte hain. With the help of this, we do it once again. 6, 8, 3, 2. We're doing in this question only, in the one matrix only. Okay. 40, 40. This is 40. This is 40. This is 30 and 50. 30 and 50. The one we have given to this is 40. This will be 0. Remember, this will be 10. Now this cell is all over. This one is your Y. Y is all over A and B. Right? Now you have to, if you are making a new matrix A, B, there is no need to make the Y because the Y is already been, the demand of Y has been filled up. 6, 3, no need to make this one. This is 30 and this is remaining 10. And this is again completed and this is 40. Now the least cost from this is 6 and 8 from the least cost is, yes, exactly 10 will be 0. This remaining 30, the balance will goes to this cell, that is 30. Again this will be 0 and this will be 0. What we conclude from this? From A, the goods being transferred to X. How many units being transferred? That is 30 units at a cost of rupees 6 per unit. 30 into 6, rupees 180. From A to X, right? Now A to Y, no units being transferred. Now B, from B origin, any units has been transferred to X. From B to X, yes. B to X also units being transferred. 10 units at a rate of rupees 3. That is rupees 30, right? From B to Y also units being transferred. B to Y. And how much units being transferred to B to Y? That is 40 units at a cost of 2 per unit. That means 40 into 2, that is rupees 80. Hope you getting? One we have transferred 6 into 30, 3 into 6 into 30, 3 into 10, and this 2 into 40, that is B to Y. B to Y 40 into 2, right? Sum of all these value 180, 180 plus 30, how much? You just have to add all these value. Right? You have to add 180, 180 plus 30, that is 210, 210 plus 80, that is 290. So 290 rupees is your total transportation cost for this question, that is the least cost method. Hope you getting this question. We have done all this question. How we have give the transportation. With the help of practical only, I explain you all this step by step how we are working all these questions. You can do all this question in one matrix also. There is no need to make the matrix again and again. How you can use this question in one matrix? Please have a look on this. Like we have done in this. Only in this matrix, only in one matrix. Like from this, I am telling you in this different way also. As it is a running time, you have to be smart. How you can do this question in the same matrix? Just have to note down all the things. Find out the least cost, that is 2. Give the allocation 40, remaining 0, balance 10. Right? Now find out the next least one. The next least one is 3. Yes, it's 3. 40 and 10. That means a 10 you can give to this. That remaining is 30. And this is again 0. Right? This allocation is done up. Now this is 30 and 30 and this is again this 30, and this is 0, this is 0. Yes, you can do in this table only in one matrix also. Now find out the result of this. Again A, this is your x and this is your y. Write down from A to x, 6 into 30. I'm writing in a short, please have a look. 180. Right, A to y, no goods. B to x, that is 3 into 10, that is 30. And B into y, that is 2 into 40, that is 80. Again sum up the same answer, 180 plus 30 and 80, then again it's 290. The answer remains the same. That doesn't matter if you are using in the same matrix and the different matrix. The point is you are getting the answer what you are getting it. This is how we getting the initial feasible solution with the help of least cost method, and we have done this question of least cost method, that is L for least cost method, LCM method. We used to say the word as LCM method. Now what we have concluded basically by using these two methods, what do you feel of? With these two methods, we learned out how the quantitative techniques and the one part of a QT, that is a transportation problem, using by the manager in a proper decision making balances, they can find out from which source the destination should be transferred so that their cost can be minimum. This is the way they can keep it. The one person is having a more focus on the costing point. They keep the cost in their mind and they find out the least cost and then transfer it. Normally we all also used to do the same process, like finding out which one is the least cost, finding out from which area to this area the least cost is there, we will using that criteria. Definitely you can also use the LCM method and find out your initial feasible solution. In the previous session we used the northwest corner. Yes, the many organizations still are using a northwest corner and they feel like this is the best part for their valuation. But as the business are upgrading day by day, nowadays the many updated organization are using a most important method, that is a WAM method, Rogers approximation method. That's a wonderful method and keeps you giving you a more detailed version of the transportation and finding the best solution. But the point is that, ma'am, from these three methods, which one is the best method? The 5 fingers cannot be same. Depend upon the situation to situation and organization to organization. You have to apply the methods and find your feasible solution. But the manager use this as a feasible and keep upgrading themselves and finding out the next best, that is the optimum solution with the different methods, with the different ways, like the Modi method. That will a very wonderful version of the transportation problem. And in the Modi method, we are able to find out the best optimum solutions of the problem in the given scenario. If you have any problem, you can coordinate with the given numbers. Thank you for today's session. Bye-bye.